Number 3. Right, that's the 4 screws out. It's completely dead. There's no light on this one, so it doesn't have a light, but there's nothing there. Direction change switch, press the button, nothing there. So this one is completely and utterly dead. Right, I'm just going to lift you up a bit further. A bit more room. It's amazing how tight these cases are. Oh, and I forgot these ones have got this stuck over the top, so we've got to peel this back whether we like it or not. Alright, let's go back to there. Actually, this one looks like it might have been apart, doesn't it? Because it's the end that you'd have to peel off is all loose. I wonder if that's been apart before. So look, it's joined itself back together again while I've been pulling at that. Let's get a little screwdriver. Oh, there we go. Right, we'll go that way, shall we? So we'll lift this top off first. But they're so well made, these, that everything fits together beautifully. It's all, you can feel all the parts where they've clicked together. Although this one's obviously very tight. Oh, there we go. There's that bit off. Well, let's pull out this front part with the gears in it, because that either will or won't be a problem. So there's the gear. Oh, we've got a fair bit of rust on that one, and look at that. Are the gears going to turn? Not too sure on that score. About the motor. Yeah, that turns. Ugh, a bit greasy. There's our switch. Let's lift this out of the case. Change direction part. So there's that. So that's that. That's that. They're all going to need a clean. That bit comes out. So there's all the parts that need a good scrub. Now we've only got one switch, because obviously we haven't got to put the light on. We've got change direction switch there. As I say, the motor, oh, it's a bit stiff. That was strange, it was a bit stiff going in one direction. Oh well, we'll put a little bit of oil on it later. I think we'll do what we usually do. Let's turn the soldering iron on. We'll desolder the battery and then we'll charge that separately. I don't want to charge this on here because I don't know what it will do when it tries to backfeed into the circuit board, so I don't want to try doing that. And if I can, I'm going to leave the motor in place because it's just simpler not to disturb any of this soldering if you can. So I'm going to leave that alone as best I can. I will try to get a little bit of oil on the end of this bush or bearing, whatever you want to call it. Tiny little bit on there. Now I can feel the magnets inside. There's one. You can feel it as it springs past each of the magnets, so they're obviously doing their job. I'm going to try a tiny little bit at this end. Let's just get hold of it with that, easier to turn. Right, obviously we'll be spinning it with some power later, but let's get it in there. Right, now, do we need to remember or mark anything? I think we do, don't we? Because Bosch do love their funny coloured wiring. So black is positive. So we'll have a red dot on there to remind us, and we'll put a red dot here near the black wire, so that's positive. Right, soldering iron. Let's see, they've used quite a lot of leaded solder on these in the past, so we'll soon see. Yep, nice and soft. This one. Come on, there we go. Right. Right, let's give this one a check while we're here, shall we? See what sort of voltage we've got. Because obviously we weren't getting any power to the motor. So what sort of voltage have we got coming out of this battery? Where's the plus end? Is that the plus end? Yep. Oh, well, it's not flat. I mean, these will normally go down to about, I don't know, 2.5, 2.6, something like that, reasonably okay. Come on, get on there. So it's not flat, but it might be flat as far as the motor's concerned. The last one was an LG. What's this one? Don't know what that is. SF US 18650. No, don't know what that one is. Right, well, we'll stick that on charge, so that's that. So what we want to know is what out of this is working and what isn't working. So let's find one of those. Let's put plus on there, minus on there, plug that in there. We need to short these two terminals because we haven't got the switch. Nothing. Move that over to there. Am I hearing a squealing noise? I think I am. Yeah, there's definitely a squealing noise from somewhere. Go back the other way. I don't know if you can hear that on there, but I can hear a squealing noise. I'll bring you a little bit closer. Is that actually turning? I can't see anything turning. Let's bring the flat side up where I can see it. Right, that's the flat side where I can see it. Now it tried to turn, but it's not turning. Right, let's see if we can cheat and go directly to the motor. Plus, minus. Ah, there we go. So something was jamming it. Seems okay now. Let's go back to the original connections. Plus, minus. Right, let's try shorting this again. Oh no, still squeaking again. Go back to the squeak. So is it the motor or is it the circuit board? Get out of the way. Well, the motor is definitely not moving. Right, I've given the motor a chance to soak some oil in for probably about 24 hours now, so I've put every now and again put a drop more oil on each end, and I've soldered the battery back in, as you can see, and now one direction. So, sounds pretty good. Right, normally I've not needed to strip these down. I mean, we've had one with sort of a couple of dodgy cogs, but I don't like the look of that. But let's have a look at what it's like underneath. Oh, it all looks fine underneath. There's no... Oh, a little bit stiff. Maybe we'll take some of these out and have a little look. But it's not looking too bad in there. And I obviously don't see the point of taking all this apart and cleaning it just for the sake of cleaning it, when in fact there's no reason why anything should be in there. But that, yeah, there's definitely a stiff spot in there. I can feel it as it goes round, so we'll go a little bit further. So that's those. Put that one there. You can see there's quite a bit of grease in there. All seems to be moving nice and freely, so I don't think that's a problem. Can't see anything wrong with any of the teeth so far. That looks absolutely fine. Let's drop that back in again. Ugh, grease makes everything stick together. Of course, I won't want to go back in the right spot, will it? It's funny, when I watch other people's YouTube videos, they drop everything into place and it just slips perfectly into place first go. Don't let me do that when I'm trying to do it. They must have some magic trick. So look, you can see I'm turning that all over the place. It's not going in. Obviously you can't force it. No, still won't go in. Let's try moving one of these cogs. I don't think you can move the cogs. Ah, there we go, we're in. Right, let's turn that. That's perfectly smooth, that's fine. So, must have been my imagination that it was catching before, and now I'm all good. Plonk that one back on there. Back on there. Back on there. So I think that must be all okay. Looks alright. You can see this one is completely plastic. I was looking at one earlier where the inner ring, or that, well, I suppose you call it the outer ring, that outer ring there was all made of metal. So I presume that was a better quality one, from even more expensive, or from earlier in the production run when they made things of metal. Right, and then that's got to go back down in there. And of course, as I've said before, not going to fit, is it? Oh, there we go. So half an hour fiddling later. So in fact, the only mess that we've got seems to be on this thing. I wonder what all that is. I thought it was rust at first, but it's not rust, is it? It's, well, I don't know what it is. Oh, maybe it's very faint rust. Ugh. Right, as you can see, if I just push the tweezers in there and give it a turn, it's all turning lovely and smoothly and freely, so I don't think we needed to do much more to that. That's absolutely fine. And I've given this a little bit of a clean. There's no sort of surface rust so much, of fluffiness to the rust anymore, just a little bit of rust on there, so that's really going to be inside the screwdriver, so that little bit of rust there is not going to hurt. I'll rub a little bit of grease on the surface of it anyway. So I think that part is ready to go back together as well. This end is all pretty clean. I'll give that just a rub down with some alcohol in a minute, but you can see it's clean enough. Right, I've just given this a clean in soapy water, so just warm soapy water, nothing special. I even cleaned it with the labels still on, and you can see they don't even move. All of these bits have been cleaned, so we just need to get all of this back in there sitting comfortably. Now this one's a little bit less complicated than some others, and I'm sorry about any noise in the background, but we've got some machinery working out in the front garden and you can probably hear it. Right. So that has to drop just down there, but it doesn't want to. Right, I'll keep fiddling with that.